Isn't it painful to find yourself in the same strung out, confusing relationship or situationship with a man time and time again? Aren't you exhausted of waiting on him, hoping for something to change, even though it never does? You must end this painful cycle, which is why on today's show, we're going to be discussing how to avoid a situationship. That way, you never have to be in this confusing state of limbo ever again. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so I know you're here present and actively participating, okay? Welcome all you beautiful people on this Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night for some of you, and maybe even some of you Wednesday morning, okay? How are you guys all doing in here? I see we got SH holding down our TikTok chat there. Who else we got? We got Kayla T in the TikTok chat. We got Lily. We got Tiana. We got Adorable. Okay, we got Scotty. Of course, we got the most wonderful Missy America holding down our YouTube chat there as our one and only moderator. We got Ivy there as well. Nikisha West is an OG. We got Rare. We got Sweet. Who else we got? I think we had our first person in the room today was Milena. She was very early. Okay, so I appreciate that as well. We got Coco in the YouTube chat as well. Okay, welcome all you beautiful people. And Enlighten A just joined us as well. All right, it's time for us to get started. And today is a very important topic that I want us all to be on the same page about. Okay. Because situationships can be very confusing, but like basically 99.9% of us in this room have probably experienced that at one point or another in our time span in relationships, okay? Especially for you as the woman, more against your will as the woman and more with our will as the men, okay? Because it's kind of our choice. We're doing the leading, okay? So very important that you understand why this is important so that you can understand how to flip, right? This on its head and not have this experience anymore. Okay. So let's start off with number one, which is you must become very intentional about your relationships. I mean, very intentional. I mean, look at me. I mean, very intentional. If you better start paying attention from the very beginning today. Okay. The reason I say you have to be hyper intentional with your relationships from now on, if you don't want to find yourself in a situationship, is because when you are not intentional and you're hoping that the man that you're dating is going to show you the way and show you the light and show you all the magical things and give you the keys to the kingdom and take you on a white horse to a land far, far away, when you're hoping that he will just magically know what it is that he needs to give you and then you'll feel it and you'll know that it exists and that it's real when he finally gives it to you, you're going to be in la la land 100% of the time. You're also going to be believing whatever it is he's telling you at that moment. So here's the thing that I need you to understand. Hope is a very powerful thing. Okay? Hope is a very powerful and dangerous thing. You have found yourself in situationships because of hope. The hope that you had that one day this situation, this relationship, this talking stage, just whatever, will turn into the full-blown serious relationship that I've always wanted it to be. And because of that hope, you prevented yourself from actually seeing and observing this person for who they are. For actually analyzing their actions, for actually absorbing and discovering some truths about them and their personality and the places they've been and the person they've been and their past as well. And using all of that information to crystallize your understanding of, is this the person that I'm looking for in my life that I would even want to be in a relationship with? Okay. And this is the really big problem that I want you guys to start flipping and changing for yourself. Because I understand. You're a woman. So in your mind, you're thinking, oh, well, I got to let the man lead. It's the man's choice. If he wanted to, he would, all that good stuff. But what ends up happening is with that mindset that you bring into your relationships, you think that it then becomes your job to be accepted by the man. Okay? Stay with me. because you're thinking if he wanted to, he would. So then naturally, your next thought process is, how can I make him want to? Okay. And that is very bad. That's where you start running into problems, because when you start thinking to yourself, how can I make him want to? Now you're thinking about how to be more likable. Now you're thinking about how to be more interesting, right? Now you're thinking about what actions you can take and how you can scrub the floor, or how you can put your maid outfit on, and how you can give him a handy and a footy to make him more interested in you. And then you've already lost once you're in that mind state and you're in that place. And you bring that into a relationship, okay? So the reason I say that is because I want you to stop thinking of, oh, if he wanted to, he would, so now how can I make him want to? And I need you to go into your relationships having the understanding that I'm here to make the decision on do I even like you enough to give myself to you? Am I even interested enough in you to commit myself to you? Are you what I'm looking for in my life? Do you fit the criteria? Do you fit the mold? Do you treat me how I expect to be treated? Do you fit the things that I want and I'm seeking for in a man? If the answer to that question is yes, then we will continue on in this relationship and you'll get investment from me as well. If the answer to that question is no, well, your time is up. And it just has to be that simple. So when I say being intentional is one of the main ways to avoid being in a situationship, you have to change your mindset into, I'm here on this date, not just to feel good and be in la la land, because that's been your problem. I'm here on this date to gather information. I'm here on this date to learn about you. I'm specifically here to learn about the not so good things about you, and the not so desirable things about you, and the not so interesting or awesome and amazing things about you, because those are the things that are going to actually determine if I end up staying with you, or if who you are is too much for me or not in the right direction of where I want to be moving. Okay, because everyone can sell you on all the good aspects of their personality that's amazing that you would love to be in a relationship with. A lot of people aren't going to share with you the bad aspects of their personality that have led to the ending of all their previous relationships. Okay. And the reason I say that is because those are the things that are actually deal breakers. Okay. Notice that when someone tells you all the good things about them, they're never deal breakers because they're good things. Okay, so that should tell you in itself, those aren't the things you really need to be worried about or stressing about or thinking about or even listening to. When someone's yapping to you about all the good aspects of their personality and how amazing they are, how generous they are, how kind they are, how sweet they are, cool, that's great. Even if it's true, that's great, that's awesome. But that's not the information I'm here to extract, because that doesn't really do me any good in understanding if you're the person I'm looking for or not. Because there's lots of good, amazing qualities that a lot of people have. But there's also a lot of bad, not so good qualities that a lot of people have that they won't share with you until you experience them. And when you experience them, you realize, yeah, actually, I wouldn't want to be with you. I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with you. Okay? So this is what I want you to begin understanding, is that when you come into your relationships, you have to be super intentional about what you're there for. Do not let men take you on a joyride where all you do is sit back, relax, and receive a bunch of validation, have him compliment you a whole bunch of times, have him tell you a bunch of sweet nothings that mean literally nothing. I want to marry you. I want to make you my wife. When I saw you, it was love at first sight. As soon as I laid my eyes on you, I knew I wanted to marry you. Yeah, that all of that sounds great in a Disney princess movie, okay? But that's not going to help you determine if this guy's actually for real, okay? Right? And this is kind of what I have to knock some sense into you. This is where I come in. This is why I exist in your life. Because when I say these things to you, it becomes more obvious to you the game that all the men are playing with you. When they chat to you all about the same things, and you're so busy thinking to yourself, wow, this feels amazing. Wow, I'm like covered in a blanket of love and security and appreciation. And he says, I'm the most beautiful girl in all the land. And he said that my dump truck is bigger than any other dump truck he's ever seen. And he said that my waist is so small that I look like a supermodel. And you're just like covering yourself in this blanket of, I don't even know what to call it. Validation, we'll call it, right? You're covering yourself in this blanket of validation that it makes you feel good. right? Makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. It makes you feel warm and fuzzy up here, and it makes you feel warm and fuzzy down in between your legs. So it's great, right, when you're experiencing it, but it's actually not doing anything real for you. Okay? And it's actually making it a lot harder to make a clear, level-headed decision on, is this guy actually the guy that I'm looking for? It's great that he can tell me a bunch of stuff about me and how much he loves me and appreciates me, even though he doesn't really know me. So that doesn't really make sense, but that's beside the point. Okay. But that doesn't help me get a better understanding of, is this relationship the relationship that I'm actually looking for? And I need to stop being in La La Land, getting all these compliments, feeling, oh, this is like my Disney princess movie. And I need to get back to my notepad of understanding how much information have I extracted, and are you the person that I'm looking for? Okay. I know it sounds not magical. I know it sounds not like your favorite movie and your favorite teen drama. And I know it doesn't sound like a Wattpad story, but when you come on these dates, right? Yes, I do want you to enchant men. We talked about that in previous shows. I do want you to enchant men. So I don't want you to come with the energy of an interrogator, right? But I do want you in your own mind, right? As you're enchanting him, I want you in your own mind to be focused on the fact that you're enchanting him to extract information from him. And when you actually think about it, the guys who have been playing you have been doing exactly that. It's the same reason why I always tell you guys not to be so scared of manipulation or so scared of gaining a strategy and an understanding of how men think and how they respond to things, because you don't want to hurt their feelings, or you don't want to be a bad person. When in reality, the men have been doing that to you all along. Because they come on these dates with you, they listen to you talk, they let you yap about yourself, they let you tell them all the things that you want in a man, all the things that you want in a relationship, right? And they spend all their time talking to you about sweet nothings, blowing up your head, making your ego big, validating you, making you feel real good about yourself, okay? Fluffing it up and fluffing you up and softening you up so that they can take advantage of you. Okay, I'm just going to tell you the reality. This doesn't sound nice, but the reason I say that is because I want you to understand, like, the strategy I'm giving you is the strategy that's actually being used on you. So if you choose not to learn this or understand this, or if you choose not to utilize this for yourself to your own advantage, well, then you'll get it done to you, like you've been doing. And where has that ended you? Okay. So this is what I want you to understand, right? You're going on these dates because you're being intentional about the fact that I'm trying to extract information and make the determination, are you the person that I'm looking for, or are you not? And as soon as I come to the sure realization that you're not the person I'm looking for, you're done. Okay? That's the hard part, because I know some of you get attached, but this is why we're going to discuss this, okay? Throughout the show. So number one was being intentional. Okay, number two, this is, okay, everyone stand up straight right now. Sit up straight in your chair. If you're on the toilet, back straight on the toilet. Don't be leaning over, okay? Just suck in your poop, okay? I want you paying attention to this part. If you're peeing, hold your pee, okay? If you're washing dishes, turn the water off. I need you paying attention and looking in my eyes for this part, for number two, okay? Pay attention. Number two. If you're going to avoid a situationship, listen to me. End and avoid any pen pal situation. Okay? Do not become pen pals with a man. Now, for those of you who are new here and are not understanding what I mean when I say pen pals, I'm going to explain this to you. A pen pal is a man, and a lot of you love doing this. This is why I want you guys, your ears perked up and you're paying attention. A pen pal is a man that you message regularly, call on the phone regularly, FaceTime regularly, but you guys do not see each other in person, whether it be because of distance, whether it be because of work, whether it be because whatever the reason or excuse is. That is not your boyfriend. That is not the guy you're talking to. That's not even the guy you're seeing. That is your pen pal. The reason I want you guys paying attention to this is because it's one of the number one ways you guys find yourselves in situationships where you're confused about what things are. Because you're not even seeing this person in real life to determine if this is serious or not. You're both just using each other as company over the phone that you don't feel lonely. And here's the most crazy, insane part, is that while you're doing that, you're becoming more attached to the guy, and you don't even realize this, but majority of those guys are exploring physical relationships with other girls who live in their city. Okay, I'm gonna let the cat's out the bag now. Right? Because at the end of the day, no matter how emotional you want to believe men are, or how enchanted you feel like you can get him over the phone or over text, at the end of the day, having access to a woman who he can also have a physical relationship with will always be more powerful than his conversations with you over the phone. Let's just be so for real. You might get attached to him because you're a more emotional being, right? And you can get in your feelings more over the constant communication. But I will tell you, I will be the first and probably the only person to admit this to you. The men are not growing a true attachment to you like that over the phone. They might pretend like they're growing an attachment to you. They might even lie to themselves that they're growing an attachment towards you. But as time goes on, when they start seeing and meeting other women that they can actually see in person, those women will eventually become the priority if they're not already. And what you're going to do to yourself is you're going to find yourself in limbo where you're actually investing yourself emotionally and mentally into a guy who's exploring other physical relationships with other women. What type of absolute waste of your time and energy is that? Are you following along so far? Okay? Very, very, very important. Do not be in a pen pal situation with a man. A lot of you love this because I know a lot of you are textaholics. And a lot of you love typing over this phone, feeling like you're getting to know each other over the phone. Okay? Thinking that you're building such a great relationship over the phone. One, because it's easier for you than having a real life in-person discussion, which that's a whole nother topic for another day. But two, because you've grown this attachment to feeling like you're growing closer to someone by texting them 24/7, that they're never out of your sight and they're never spending a moment away from you. It doesn't work like that. You're not actually building a relationship with that man. Okay? And once you establish this pen pal situation where you guys are just talking on the phone, you're texting, you're Snapchatting, you're sending each other memes, you're sending each other reels, thinking like you guys are talking 24/7. All you're going to do is what's going to happen. So 1 week's going to go by. You're going to think, oh, this is going great. This is going well. We're having a good time. Then 2 weeks goes by. You're going to be like, this is still great. This is still awesome. Then 2 months, then 3 months, then 6 months, and you're going to be thinking to yourself, oh, we're going on the 8th month here, and I still haven't met you in person, and we haven't even made a plan to see each other in person. I don't know what to do now, because when I meet a new guy who I may like or might find interesting, I don't know what to tell him, because we're technically not in a relationship because we've never met each other, but I also would feel really bad if I were to go on another date with the guy, especially when we've built 8 months of we've been communicating with each other for 8 months. And so just that fast, you're in a limbo state where you don't know what to do. You don't know what the boundaries are, and you don't know what the expectations are, because you literally can't say to someone, right? Hey, let's be exclusive now. What are you being exclusive with? You don't see the person and you've never met the person. Or for some of you, you've only met them once or twice. So how can you be exclusive with someone that you'd never even meet or never even see? Okay, it doesn't make sense. And for those of you that are in that state, well, then the natural logic is, well, we can't necessarily say, oh, we're exclusive, we're dating. I don't meet you, I haven't met you. We're not anything. But then you also can't say, well, I'm going to start exploring new relationships and I'm going to go on new dates when we're building this thing that's supposed to be a thing. And you're in limbo, just like that. Okay. Where did it go here? Rare donates 6 euros in the YouTube chat. She says, so what do you do when you live in 2 countries and still try to date men? Do I not text them when I'm out of the country? Okay, here's the thing. This is a great question, Rare. So I'm glad you asked it and thank you for the donation. I need you. Okay, this is going to sound like I'm dissing you, Rare, or dissing the rest of you that feel this way. I just need you to come to the realization, this is going to sound mean. I need you to come to the realization that the men in your country or city are the same as the men in a different country or city. I know that that sounds painful and not magical because you feel like, oh, maybe my soulmate's living in Costa Rica. Maybe my soulmate's living in Mexico. Maybe my soulmate lives in London. Okay? I need you to realize men are the same everywhere. The same problems you will endure with a man in Costa Rica is the same problems you'll endure with the man in Jamaica, probably more in Jamaica, okay? Is the same problems you'll endure with the man in Nigeria, probably more in Nigeria, okay? And I'm saying that as a Nigerian man. Okay, so I just need you to get yourself out of the mindset that the men are so much more amazing where I'm not, because they're the same. And some of you build these pen pal, not to diss Rare and not diss anyone else who is doing this, but sometimes you guys build these pen pal situations with men because you're of the belief that the men in a different country where I'm not are totally different and so much better. And you build them up in your mind and you build these relationships with them thinking that they're perfect and amazing and you can't find anything like this where you are. I'm here to burst your bubble that in reality, they're the same. Okay? It's just some live closer to you and some don't. So this is where you need to be honest with yourself. If you're not willing to put in that like twice the amount of effort required to be in a long distance relationship with someone that doesn't live in a different country than you, doesn't live in the same country as you, then don't even resign yourself to the idea of seeing someone that doesn't live where you live. Because if you're not prepared and you see that this guy is not prepared to go absolutely all out on committing himself to, like we talk about, you want guys to be intentional, and if he wanted to, he would. You need a guy who's double on that. So if he wanted it to, he would ×2, and intentional ×2. Because in order for him to make this relationship work with you, if you guys don't live in the same country, he's got to be on top of it. Hey, I want to see you once a month. Can we schedule our schedule out for the next 6 months? Or I want to see you at the very least once every 2 or 3 months. We need to schedule our lives for the next year so that I can make sure I can take a trip to see you. I got this time. Like, so you need if that relationship's going to work, you need a man who's so in love with you, head over heels for you, so intentional about you that he doesn't even want to slip up or miss a moment that he could possibly spend with you. And he's trying his absolute hardest to spend as much in-person time with you and quality time with you as he possibly can. So I say that to say, if you're not with a guy like that and you're not in that mindset yourself, where you're willing to put forth double the effort, then don't even bother. Because I'm here to tell you that the men in your city are the same as the men in Nigeria, Costa Rica, Miami, LA, New York, London, Manchester, South Africa, Germany, Russia, wherever you are. Okay? Wherever you are, they are the same. And this is what I need you guys to understand, okay? I know men will tell you how badly they want to make it work with you when you guys don't live in the same country and how bad they want you, okay? A lot of them are just chit-chatting. Because when it comes down to buying a $2,000 plane ticket to fly on the other side of the world to come see you every 3 months, people start getting silent. Suddenly there's not as much enthusiasm. Suddenly the funds are running low. Okay, that's the other thing too, is that some of you are in pen pal situations, and this is not all meant to just go at Rare. I just want to speak in general. Some of you are in pen pal situations where you do understand if you're going to be in a pen pal situation with someone that doesn't live in your country, you better have some long distance funds. Okay, both you and him. or maybe him have for you and him together. Okay. So they're better on one side or the other, or on both sides, there better be some long distance funds if you're going to be in a relationship with each other and you're not living in the same country. So if you guys don't have no long distance funds, or he doesn't have no long distance funds, cut it off. You're wasting your time anyways. Okay? I'm so serious. Because how are you supposed to do all this flying back and forth, driving, booking Airbnbs, booking this, scheduling that, when you guys barely have enough money to cover groceries and to cover your rent and to cover your Ubers? Be for real. So if you don't have long distance funds, when are you going to actually see each other? Be for real. Okay. So I want you to be avoiding these pen pal situations. Okay. And if they do live in a different country, right, I need you to be this is why intentional was number one, because when you're intentional with your relationships and intentional with what you want and what you need, right, and you know what you want and what you need, you'll start being more calculated with the decisions that you're making. You won't just start talking to a guy from Nigeria when you live in Miami or New York and saying to yourself, well, I'm just talking to him because he's the one that's meant for me. Is he really? Because the same issues that Nigerian men have are the same issues that New York men have. And if neither of you or him has long distance funds to fly across the world and spend $2,000 on a plane ticket every couple of months, then why are you bothering with this relationship? Just let's get for real. Because how often are you actually going to see that person? Let's just get so for real. Okay. Says, stop discouraging me. I'm in a long distance relationship for a year right now. He's exactly what I prayed to God for. Here's the thing. I don't want what I say to make you guys feel bad about long distance relationships, because I'm not going to ever say that you can't meet a great person that just doesn't happen to live in your country or city. But what I am saying is, alongside that, there has to be a preparation and a mindset that both of you bring to the long distance relationship that is like, we are both willing to work twice as hard to make this relationship work, simply because we live far away from each other. And if both of you aren't of that mindset coming into the relationship, then don't even bother, because you're wasting each other's time. And more importantly, you're wasting your own time. So it's not that you should never want a long distance relationship, but if you know you're not ready to put in twice the amount of effort, right? Or you're in that long distance relationship and your man isn't twice as intentional with you, don't waste your time. Okay. Don't even bother. So avoid pen pals at all costs. Okay. Nicole said something that I love, actually. Love is also logistics. It's very true. Love is also logistics. And sometimes when you love someone and the logistics don't work, it's just not going to work out. Okay. And that's not a bad thing. But it is a realization that you have to have when you become an adult, and life is not all fairy tales and pixie dust. Okay, unfortunately, I wish it could be, and I wish I could tell you that's the world we live in, but it's not. So you have to be intentional. You also want to be avoiding pen pals. Number 3, I want you to not invest. Do not invest. Now, when I'm saying by do not invest, I know the first thing that comes to your mind is money. I am talking about money, but I'm also talking about emotionally investing yourself. I know, listen, hold on. Before you say this is toxic information, before you say this doesn't sound like a love story, before you say that sounds really bad, I shouldn't emotionally invest in people and emotionally invest in men. Here's what I mean by I don't want you emotionally investing or financially investing. Because as you begin to invest more in that man emotionally. So what I mean by emotional investment, sharing yourself with him. So for example, if me and you are dating and you're telling me, and I ask you, what do you want in a man? You're telling me about all the things you've ever wanted in a man, all the things you've ever not gotten from a man. We just started going on a couple of dates. You're telling me all of your deepest, darkest secrets. You're telling me all of your traumatic situations. You're telling me everything you've ever experienced in your entire life and what you would be looking for and all that good stuff. As you begin to divulge more and more information in me, you begin to attach yourself more and more to me emotionally. You become more emotionally invested in me, right? Because you're sharing, those are intimate parts of yourself. You're sharing parts of yourself with me. As you become more emotionally invested in men, and also for some of you financially invested in men, spending money on him, it becomes increasingly painful for you to walk away from the situationship or the what you think is a relationship or what you're hoping is a relationship because of your increasing amount of emotional and in some cases financial investment. It's the same reason why I tell you to get men emotionally invested in you, and someone like Shira will tell you to get men financially invested in you. Because as people invest more into you, it becomes increasingly more painful for you to walk away from them or for them to walk away from you. So vice versa, you want to be avoiding putting too much investment into people that you're just meeting. Listen, I'm not saying don't invest in your husband. I'm not saying don't invest in the guy who asks you to be his girlfriend. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. People that are actually invested in you, invest in those people 110%. Okay, put your all into those people. But what I'm talking about is you do not want to be investing yourself heavily into men who are not actually there to build a relationship with you. I told you guys about this yesterday. Okay. And the idea that a lot of you are offering all of this wifey treatment to men who are like, I wasn't even here to get wifey treatment from you. I was here to extract Squirtle from you and have some good pineapples with you, insert myself inside you for 2 minutes at a time and jackrabbit myself inside you until I bust a nut. And that's all I came for. So you offering me wifey treatment is like a bonus on top, but I didn't even need that in the first place. And some of you are so desperate for the validation, and each time you start dating a new guy, you just hop right into giving him your absolute 110% all. You're scrubbing the floor while you're giving him a handy, while you're giving him a footy. And then these men just say to themselves, good, I'm glad that you're giving me the absolute most. I'll continue to take, and I don't feel the need to give you anything in return. And you get nothing. Okay? So I need you to avoid investing heavily in people right from the very beginning, right from the get-go. Let them show you that they're there for the right reasons and they're there to be committed to you. Then you can start thinking about how you're going to invest back into them, knowing that this relationship is actually going somewhere. Okay. Some of you are, like I said, are investing into men who you're not even going anywhere in that relationship. And the thing about it is, by the time you invest heavily in him, by the time you're washing his clothes every day, doing his laundry every time you come over, sleeping over 3 nights in a row, you got all your toothbrush there, you got all your clothes there, you got your bags there, you do everything there. You go to work from his house, right? And you become accustomed to being around him, and you become accustomed to investing in him and all the things you've done for him and all that good, all the energy you've put into him. By the time he starts putting you in limbo and becomes unintentional with you and starts stringing you along and only giving you hope without giving you any action, you're going to say to yourself, well, I guess I just have to stick around because my only other option is to walk away from this. But if I walk away from this, I'm going to lose out on all of the investment that I put into you. People do not like losing out on their investment, okay? And men don't like losing out on their investment either, okay? So when you're investing heavily into men, it should be because you're building something with them, actually building something, not building something in your mind or in a fairy tale space or building something with words, building something real that actually exists based on actions, okay? Selfish Error says time investment less so, because guys will waste time with you just because they want someone to waste time with. Okay. I need you to understand that there's also men who don't know where they're going, don't have any direction in their life. And so they'll take you and they'll use you to waste time with. They'll insert themselves inside you. They'll jackrabbit themselves inside of you and waste a lot of their time and yours rather than doing what they're supposed to be doing. Okay. So time investment isn't always the thing that you want to be focused on, because guys will waste time with a lot of girls who they aren't planning on being serious with. Okay. Emotional investment is the one that you're looking for from guys. Emotional and financial, of course. Okay. I focus more on the emotional. Some other people like Shira would probably focus more on the financial. Does that make sense to you guys so far? Okay. Lin Joan or Lin Huon says, will I look bothered if I stop watching his stories? I am pulling back because he hasn't confirmed our first date yet. It's been a week. if you stop watching his stories, you won't look bothered. You'll look very unbothered, okay, which is good. And if he hasn't confirmed your first date and it's been a week, well, then that shows you literally how intentional he is about you. And you have to take that at face value, okay? Instead of reaching out to him or doing the job for him. Thank you for the soup chat, by the way, okay? Thank you for the $5 soup chat. I appreciate you, Lynn. Does that make sense to you guys also though? Okay, do not be investing heavily emotionally into men. It's the same reason. And when I say don't invest heavily emotionally into those guys, what I mean is don't run right into your date thinking about all the ways you can yap about yourself and share yourself. Okay, are you listening? Don't run into your date thinking about all the ways you can yap about yourself and share about yourself. This is not about you. I know it sounds weird for me to say that, and I know it sounds like, what? This is not about me. I'm supposed to have fun. I'm supposed to enjoy myself. Yes, you're going to have fun. You're going to enjoy yourself with the man who's actually invested in building something with you. You're not going to have fun and enjoy yourself with the random fly-by-night men who are just here to extract pineapples. Okay? So it will be about you, and you will get to share yourself, and you will get to yap about yourself. You're just not going to do that with every man you ever go out on a date with. Okay, you're going to vet them first, gain an understanding of them first, right? Gain some knowledge on who they are first. Then once you confirm they're the person you're looking for, you pour your heart out. Does that make sense? Okay. So being intentional, avoiding pen pals. Okay. You don't invest emotionally or financially. God forbid you're investing financially. Okay. That there's no reason for you to be doing that with men that you just met or just started dating. Number 4, you observe and you analyze. Now, this takes some real honesty. When I say you observe and you analyze, okay, I've mentioned to you guys a wish list. So when we're talking about being intentional, I actually think one of the actionable items that you can take is writing down a wish list. And when I say a wish list, your wish list should consist of everything that you want in a man. I don't want you to focus so much on I want him to be 6'2", I want him to be have a 9-incher, I want him to be long and thick and penetrate me deeply. I want you to focus more on the emotional aspects of your relationship and the mental and spiritual aspects of your relationship and what you want in that dynamic, okay? So I would love for you to write down a wish list, because that will help those of you who have problems being intentional be way more intentional, that you can never forget what it is that you're there for, okay? Right now, as it relates to observing and analyzing, another great tool or another great trick to use if you have difficulty observing and analyzing is to put inside have a notebook. So on one part of your notebook, you should have all the things that you are looking for in a guy. That's the emotional, spiritual, and a mental side. And then I also want you to, on another side of that notebook, I want you to have all the things written down that have happened in your relationship. Listen to me, that have actually happened. Not happened in your mind. Not that you feel like it might have happened because you feel this way towards it. No. The things that have actually happened and transpired in your relationship with this guy. Okay? And throughout the course of you getting to know him and throughout the course of you guys building together, I want you to continuously be observing and analyzing his behaviors, whether good or bad, and writing them down in your notebook. I know this sounds very mundane and very strange thing to do, but it'll help those of you who have difficulty remembering and identifying what is actually happening because of your bias that you create when you start to like a guy. If I mistreat you and you're not in love with me, it's a lot easier to identify the fact that I'm mistreating you. But if I'm mistreating you and you're in love with me, maybe some of you are, it's a lot harder to identify or to be honest with yourself about the fact that I'm mistreating you. Your natural inclination is to justify that I mistreated you because I was just mad this day, or maybe it was just this, or maybe it was just that, or maybe there was a misunderstanding. And you're constantly going to be justifying all of my behaviors to fit whatever narrative that you want it to fit. So if you want me to fit the narrative that I'm your dream man, when I do something that's not in line with me being your dream man, you're going to start justifying my actions that it's not that I'm not your dream man, it's just blank. And so when you're trying to observe and analyze information, and you're trying to observe and analyze his actions, whenever you're thinking back to what has happened or not happened, your mind is always going to be skewed towards whatever narrative you want it to fit. Okay? And you don't want to be doing that, which is why the notebook can be a really great sobering equalizer, where you look at the notebook and you can never undo or misremember what is in that notebook. It's also very important that when you're observing and you're analyzing, that you write down things that are happening in that notebook the days that they happen. Okay? Don't wait a week. Don't wait a month. Don't wait 2 weeks. Okay? The reason I say that is because the longer you wait, the more your mind is going to twist that memory to fit whatever narrative that you want it to fit deep down in your soul. Okay. And this doesn't make you a bad person. This literally happens to all of us. Okay. Memory is a very strange thing, because memory is combined with emotions and experiences. And remember, people don't remember what you say. They only remember how you make them feel. So however he's making you feel is going to take over how you remember or misremember the past things that have transpired in your relationship. Okay. It's a very strange thing that happens to us. And so you don't want that happening to you, because if it's happening to you and you lose your ability to observe and analyze, you're going to be easily convinced that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Remember, I said at the very beginning of the show, hope is the most dangerous thing for you, because hope is what keeps you there in this situationship, hoping that one day the situationship will turn into the serious thing that you envisioned it turning into, that you imagined it would turn into, that you hoped one day it would turn into. The problem with that hope, right, is that that thing never actually happens, right? And it never actually turns into that. It never evolves into what you're imagining or hoping it would evolve into. And so as you continue to hope, right, that hope keeps you there long enough for the next thing to happen that, gets you down or makes you feel like, oh, maybe I should walk away from this relationship. But then bang, just like that, he says something or does something small that gives you hope again. And it's just a vicious cycle of you going up because you have hope on the situation, thinking that things might go up and are looking better. And then you crash down again when you realize it's not that. Then he gives you hope again and you're up feeling like things are going to work out. And then you crash down again. And you're just strung along for as long as humanly possible until something breaks. And we don't want that for you, because when you're in the middle of that, you're in a full-blown situationship with no idea where things are going or where you're supposed to be. Okay? So you need to have and develop the ability to observe and analyze, like, truthfully. Not observe and analyze with your mind, with your feelings, where your feelings are going to convince you that certain things are happening and certain things are not happening and justify a whole bunch of stuff. To be able to actually observe and analyze what's actually happening as it's really happening in reality. Okay? I say that because a lot of us, including me sometimes, okay, it's not just you, but including me, some of us are not living in reality, which is why we're in pain, or we find ourselves in relationships that don't make sense. Okay? Because we're living in our mind and in our feelings, not in reality, and not actually observing or analyzing situations for what they actually are. We're believing what we want to believe, what gives us hope, and what makes us feel good. Okay, the Players Club is like a splash of cold water. It's like a slap in the face, because you're going to stop going out into your relationships with guys and when you're meeting them and dating them and doing what feels good, and you're going to start being more calculated with what you do, having an end goal in mind. Okay, I'll be the first to tell you, other people might tell you it's a crime to have an end goal and a thing that you're shooting for when you go into these relationships and you go into these dating stages and talking stages. Some people will tell you that's manipulation. Some people will tell you that's not true love. Whatever they want to tell you, you'll have those men wrapped around your finger, and those same girls telling you that that's not true love will be begging you for your secret on how you get all the men chasing after you and wrapped around your finger trying to sniff your butthole. Because they'll be the same women who are chasing after men and getting used and manipulated by men, thinking to themselves, damn, I wish I could have a little bit of control. I wish I could get a guy actually interested and invested in me, pursuing me. So don't let people convince you that observing and analyzing and going into your dating stages with an intention in mind to extract information and a strategy on how you're going to do that and how you're going to learn more and how you're going to make an educated decision. Don't let people convince you that that's wrong. Because at the end of the day, when you get what you want and you have those men pursuing and chasing after you, all the girls will be asking you for your secret. It's the honest truth. Okay? So, being intentional, very, very important. Avoiding pen pals, hyper important. Okay? Don't invest emotionally or financially. There's no need to until he shows you that he's actually here for real. Okay? Observing and analyzing in an honest, truthful, factual way that is based in reality, not based in your feelings. Okay? And number 5, you need to be identifying sustainability. Okay? Everything I talked to you guys obviously at the beginning about being intentional, but everything you're doing here and everything you're learning about this person has to be based in the idea that you're trying to build a sustainable relationship. Okay? I know that sounds very strange because a lot of people don't talk about sustainability when they're talking about dating, probably because it doesn't sound as magical, it doesn't sound as much like a fairy tale to talk about sustainability, because sustainability is honestly boring. But you need to be thinking to yourself down the road what this relationship would turn into if it actually ended up working out. And you need to be thinking to yourself, okay, what qualities do I need, or what things about this relationship would work or not work down the road? So what I mean by that is you can't be thinking about what your relationship is right now and not dealing with things simply because it's right now, and down the road, maybe you'll work on those things. So for example, if you're dating a guy and let's say you're like, okay, I'm dating this guy and he likes to party a lot. Like he likes to go out to the club every weekend with his boys, and not just party a lot. Like he parties hard. He gets super drunk. He doesn't know how to carry himself. And he is just like, it's not like he enjoys going out. He enjoys getting blackout drunk. Okay. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm only 22 now and he's only 23. So we like to go out and have fun. That's not super a big deal. I still enjoy having a good time with him, and I still enjoy our life together and all that stuff like that. So who cares if he likes to go out every weekend and get drunk? It's not an issue. I like to go out and get drunk with him. Here's the problem. While that might work for you when you're casually just dating each other and you're 23 years old, if you're not looking towards the future and thinking about, is this sustainable or not, you're going to quickly find yourself in a situation. Let's say you do end up dating this guy for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. And now you're past the stage of just wanting something casual for fun to have fun with him. You're going to be in a position where you're saying to yourself, now we're 28, pushing 29, about to be 30, and you're still going out every weekend with your boys. I don't know if this is working out for me because that's not where I am in my life. I'm trying to build a family. I have a career, and you're still going out with your boys, getting blackout drunk, and you're closing in on 30. And it stops becoming something cute or something funny or something cool to do because you guys are young. And it starts moving into the territory of, I actually don't want a partner that embodies those qualities. That won't work for me in a long-term relationship. Okay. I want you always going into your relationships thinking about what is sustainable or not. Even in the way that he treats you or goes about the relationship, you have to be thinking about what is sustainable or not. If you notice qualities about him that you don't feel like is sustainable for a long-term relationship, done. You're done. He's done. You're done with him. Okay? This is how you avoid these situationships, because in these situationships, right, you're not being honest with yourself about who he is and what you need, and also what is required for the future of a relationship with this guy. So then you're kind of in this state where things are happening, but you don't acknowledge how they'll affect the future. And then instead of anticipating them as being problems and trying to solve them or address them before they're problems, you just end up having those problems down the road. And those problems end up hindering your ability to actually build a long-term relationship with that person or continue on in a long-term relationship with that person. And then what happens when you have hindrances in terms of building a long-term relationship? Now these roadblocks make it harder for you to actually move forward in any direction. Now you're in limbo again, because yes, you like him and you think he's cool and you've invested a year of your life into him. But now that you're realizing that he goes out to the club every single weekend and gets drunk, you're realizing that, maybe I don't know if I really want to be in a relationship with you. Do you think that maybe you could stop going out to the club? And now you're fighting against him and his natural personality, trying to get him to be someone that he's never been, because you have so much investment into him now and you don't want to walk away from that. These like all compound on each other, right? And because you don't want to let go of your investment and the time you've put into him, right? And the energy that you put into him emotionally as well. Now you find it a lot more difficult to walk away from him because you weren't being intentional, right? And you weren't thinking about the sustainability of him and your relationship and actually thinking about that while the relationship was still going on early. Because when you realize something is not sustainable for you, specifically in a relationship, then you can easily identify that this is not something I need to be investing myself into. All of these things that we discuss here are to help you remove yourself and detach yourself from the natural hope you want to feel whenever you like a guy. Okay? Because like I said before, when you really like a guy and you're really interested in him and you really want it to work out, you're going to have a lot of hope that things will work out. That hope is very dangerous because it'll make you believe what you want to believe, not what's actually happening. Are you following me so far? Okay. Suzuki donated like $6 in the YouTube chat as a super chat. She says, "Thank you so much for the wisdom." Thank you so much, Suzuki, for the kind and generous donation. And you're one of our channel members, so I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, guys. Okay. Does that make sense? Sustainability is so important in your relationships and in your ability to your gathering of information. Because remember, you're here, you're gathering information and you're trying to gain a better understanding. Are you the person that I'm actually looking for, or are you not? Is this the relationship that I'm actually looking for, or is it not? Is this the dynamic that I'm actually looking for, or is it not? Someone says, oh yeah, someone says it's Suzy Q. Is it Suzy Q? I've been saying Suzuki because, yeah. Okay, we'll go with Suzy Q. Sorry, I didn't notice that. I've been just saying Suzuki like the bike. Vroom, vroom. Okay. Okay, so does that make sense to you guys? Do you guys have any questions about the those five? So we talked about being intentional, avoiding pen pals, not investing emotionally or financially, and not to be observant and analyzing, and then the sustainability. Okay. Bree says that's hard though because people and values change. Well, yes. This is okay, Bree. I'm glad you said that, because this is why it's hyper important to be honest with yourself, how you've grown, how you've changed, and your morals and values have changed within yourself, to be up to date with yourself on what your needs are. Right? You have to be up to date with yourself on what you require in a relationship. So as you're dating guys, right, as you're growing and adjusting, right, and your needs are growing and adjusting, you can then identify in the guys that you're dating, are you up to date with what I currently need in my life right now and who I am right now? If you're a party girl at 21, sure, maybe being with a guy who likes to go out and get drunk and will spend $10,000 cash on a booth where you can go out with your friends and be in VIP, maybe that's where you are at a certain point in your life. But when you're ready to start a family and build a family, you probably aren't looking for that same guy who will drop $10,000 cash on a VIP booth at the club. You're probably looking for a guy who has a 401k or has $1 million invested in an investment portfolio somewhere, invested in the S&P 500 or something like that, or owns a business. Okay? I say that to say, as your own needs grow and adjust and change, So do your requirements for a partner in a relationship. That's okay, but you need to stay up to date with those so you can continuously be identifying, are you who I'm looking for? Okay, because if you're not continuously identifying that and keeping up to date with that, that's how you string yourself along. Because being in a situationship is not just about the guy stringing you along, it's also about you stringing yourself along, because you're almost waiting for him to show you what you're looking for, rather than identifying what you're looking for and then making the determination if he is that. Okay, do not, if you take away anything from this, do not go into your relationships allowing or waiting for men to show you show you what it is that you think you're looking for. Okay, go into your relationships with an already a clear understanding of what it is you're looking for, and through the process of learning him and understanding him better and extracting information from him, then you use that information to determine if he is what you're looking for. Okay? Does that make sense? Avatar says, I need to clean, but these lectures are lecturing. You can clean and listen, but you just have to make sure you're listening. Okay. Bree says, I'm about to start an online business, so I expect him to be financially independent and strong. Good. That's a good thing to recognize about yourself, because then it's thing about it is, when you get very specific with your needs and what you're looking for, it becomes very easy to go and sit down on a date and say to yourself, oh, well, you're not that, so this is a waste of my time. Okay? Or there's no path forward to that, so this is a waste of my time. And you'll actually be so much more happier, because a lot of your energy won't get wasted in places that are absolutely pointless and useless to you. Okay? You'll actually only be investing into people who are in line with what you're looking for. And the more you invest into people who are in line with what you're looking for, you'll look back on your life and the investment you've put into that person, and you'll be like, oh, I'm glad I put this investment into this person, because that's exactly who I've been looking for. It sounds like really obvious and really straightforward when we're breaking it down like this. It's a lot harder to actually practice when you're in real life, which is why we're breaking it down like this. Okay? Right? And someone says it's like a cheat code, right? It is a cheat code, because literally you stop thinking about, oh my God, all these bad men out here, men are not looking to date, men don't want to pay for anything, all these men want to go 50-50. Who cares? Who cares that there's a whole bunch of men who want to go 50-50? Who cares that there's a whole bunch of men who want princess treatment? You're not looking for those men. And if you know you're not looking for those men, then as soon as you identify that he's one of those men, you just say, hasta la vista. I'm gone. And it's very simple. And then you don't waste any of your time or energy or brain or thought power on those men. And you only put your investment into the men who are what you're looking for. And your life actually becomes very straightforward and a very simple math equation. I know some of you don't like math, but it's a very simple one. Okay? Very simple. Right? Let's see here. Was it... Okay, never mind. I was gonna answer that one, but never mind. All right. So does that make sense to all you guys so far? I hope we're on the same page, and I hope you guys got that. For those of you on TikTok who might have missed some of the points, I'm not gonna go over all of them again. They're all available on my YouTube, where I'm live also simultaneously, and you can rewatch every point that I gave in its entirety on my YouTube page. Okay, my YouTube page is just right above my page, my face. That being said, what time is it? What time is it? What time is it? You know what time it is. You know what time it is. See, if you're new here, you don't know what time it is. But you see all them people in the chat, they know what time it is. You see, but you newbies, you people that ain't been around town, you people that ain't stepped into the Players Club, you have no idea what time it is. But the Players Club members, they know what time it is. It's Discord time! Oh my gosh. It is Discord time, ladies, because there's only ladies in here. We are going to hop into the Discord right now. It is such an amazing time. For those of you who are new, you're very confused. That's okay. Confusion is good. You'll learn something. And in the Discord, essentially what happens is I answer questions of the community in my Discord channel live on the show. So I have not read these ahead of time. I read these out with the chat, okay? And we all put our opinions in, and I give my advice to the wonderful ladies who submit their questions in on the Discord live on the show, okay? So let's get into it. You see, we have a lot of Discord questions. I'm very behind on them because you guys submit a lot, okay? This one was deleted. Okay, let's go to M here. M asks, have I ruined it from the start, or is he uninterested? Okay, let's hop into M's here. M says, hi, Tomisin. First, I want to thank you for your advice and that I am grateful to you go live every weekday. Thank you. I'm grateful for you too. I started talking to a guy on Instagram. We started off on the wrong foot already. He is 20. I am 23 years old. Okay, let's see how this goes. He said he came to my country 8 months ago and that he wanted to stay here at least 5 years. What does that mean, that he wanted to stay here? He's 20 years old. Does he have stay here money? Let's continue. We originally met through a language learning app. Okay. What do you think about meeting guys through language learning apps? I'm not sure how that would work even, but let's go on. Okay, maybe it's like a classroom. So he texted me first, hello, and the conversation started, but I have to say what bothers me is that I do 90% of asking him questions, and he asks me about 10%, which over time gets pretty annoying to me. Maybe he doesn't, is he speaking the same language as you? Why are you, okay, someone tell me in the chat, how do language learning apps work? Because I did not know that this was a meeting ground for, singles. I just, some things I just don't know about. So I don't really understand how you grow a relationship from a language learning app, or even how that becomes, I don't know. Please explain that to me in the chat for those of you. I don't understand. Someone says one person is teaching the other English. So she was teaching him. Where you talk to people from other countries speaking their language. Okay, so is he speaking? If that's the case, then is he speaking your language? Because if that's the case, then that might mean why he's not asking you a lot of questions. Maybe he doesn't fluently speak your language. Anyways, let's go on. I keep reaching out from time to time if he doesn't, and reacts to my story saying that he's very proud of what I do. A story where I showed my notes of studying. Oh, you're studying his language. Okay, interesting. But it has nothing to do with him. I just love learning this language. So our conversations are like, I asked him a question, for example, what is your age? And he asked about my age back, but nothing more, or a question about his height. So I guess you see the dynamic here. Yeah, I see that you're his pen pal. Okay, like I just talked about avoiding. I'm maybe actually tomorrow's show we'll do a show specifically on pen pals, because this is actually becoming rampant in the community. I am scared if I don't text him, he won't contact me again unless I post an interesting story. What, of your dump truck? No, I'm just joking. Which he then comments about. Yeah, of the language app or your dump truck. I guess I shouldn't keep my hopes up since he only stays here for 5 years and then returns back home. So I'm confused. He's actually staying there for 5 years, because you said up here that he wanted to stay here for at least 5 years. Wanting and staying, like actually, is two different things. Okay, that made me a little bit confused there, because him saying that he wants to just sounds like he chat. You know what I mean? But him saying that he's actually going to be here for the next 5 years is totally different. Also, I'm curious why, maybe what does his parents do? Because I'm assuming at 20 years old, he's not just moving to a different country for 5 years at a time. It just would seem very random. He's not really in control of that then. How long he stays or where he goes next or things like that. I just think like you're a pen pal with the guy who's 20. Like, how much are you really gonna see each other? He probably doesn't have pen pal money. Okay, I just finished telling you guys about this earlier. A lot of these people that you guys are in long distance relationships with, do you guys have long distance relationship money? Okay, less so for you as the woman, but at the very least, if a guy's gonna try to court you and you guys are long distance, he better have some long distance money where he can pay for himself to come see you and or pay for you to come over to him. And if neither of you have any sort of long distance money, what's the point? Like, he's 20, so my assumption is that he doesn't yet have long distance relationship money, which is fine. He's only 20, but like, what are you gonna build there? Just chit chat on the app? I know this will feel like it doesn't make sense, and I know this will feel like it's impossible, but I promise you, you can find cool, interesting guys who speak different languages, like in your city, or that live an hour or less away from you, or are interested in a number of things that you're interested that live less than an hour away from you. I know it sounds illogical, and I know you've attached yourself to being with this guy that you met on the language learning app. But I just need you to understand, what are you particularly getting from this guy that you couldn't get from any other guy that lives closer to you? I know it doesn't sound fantastical, but like I said before, guys are the same everywhere. So this idea that you have to be with this particular guy who's 20 years old because you met him on a language learning app, he's not doing anything in particular for you. So why are you making your life harder by trying to grow it's not even a relationship. It's not even an anything because you're not even seeing him. For a 20-year-old who doesn't even live in your country, learn your language that you're already invested in learning, and then maybe go to the country where, not necessarily where he lives, that speaks the language. Just do more things for you. Like, don't be investing your time and energy into a guy. Like, you're not building anything with this guy. Okay. There's no need to be investing your time and energy into this guy. Learn your language that you want to learn. And then if you save up the money that you want to go take a trip to one of those countries that speaks that language, then go do that. Don't be investing your time in it. It's a 20-year-old guy. He doesn't know what he wants, doesn't know what he's going to be in the world. He's still learning about his own life. He don't have nothing that he wants to do with you. Let's just be so for real, man. Okay. Find a nice guy who lives in your city. Okay. Or that's old enough that he has enough money that he can come see you for real and actually be more intentional with you. Okay, that's my advice to you. Next we have here, I want to make sure I don't skip any. Okay, next we have Boo. You're gonna scare me with this one? Is he serious or is he seriously playing? Great title. I am 30. I met this guy who's 27 on Snapchat. This is going to be one of them ones. And in the beginning of our conversation, I told him that 27 though, on Snapchat. You met him there. Sorry, I just can't get over that. I told him that I am heartbroken, assuming he will get the message that I am not interested into getting a relationship. Okay, I do need to ask this question. This will maybe be answered later. But from my understanding of how Snapchat works, when someone adds you or your username that you don't know, because you said you met this guy on Snapchat, I'm assuming you only have his username to go by, which is not necessarily his real name. So you don't know his real name. And you obviously, if he doesn't have a public profile with there's some already existing posts on there, you don't even know necessarily what he looks like. You just have his Bitmoji to go by, a reference of what he looks like. And a Bitmoji obviously can represent anything. It doesn't even mean that that's necessarily what he looks like. So you don't know his name. And for the most part, you don't really know what he looks like. I feel even a dating app would be better than this. I just fail to understand why you would want to build a relationship from that. Anyways, how did he even add you? That's the other question. If you were meeting him on the app, how did he add you? I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old. But right off the bat, he told me he wanted to have a chance with me. Based on what? Your Snapchat stories? I don't get it. I brushed it off thinking he isn't really serious about it given my current situation. But so are you saying you're having chat with him about your previous relationship over Snapchat? Wow. But he was persistent. I admit I did feel attracted to him. Otherwise, I wouldn't have continued talking to him. Let's hope, for the sake of sanity, that at least you took this off of Snapchat at some point. The same day we met. What do you mean that we met? You met on Snapchat. That's not really meeting. The same day we met, we got on a call on WhatsApp. Okay, so you just took it from one app to another. Magical. Wait. So are you saying all of this happened within a day? You're talking about he was persistent, and you're talking about within a day of persistence? Oh my God. I hope this is not what you mean. The same day we met, we got on a call on WhatsApp. And there I explained that I'm tired of relationships in general. So all of this happened within a day. You're talking about he was persistent and this was within a day. Oh my God. He said he understood, but he was still jokingly suggesting the idea of us dating. I outright told him that I see him as someone who does this with most girls he talks to. How would you know that? It's been a day. He lightly said I was judging him without giving him a chance. It's true, you don't actually know him. We had a fun conversation. I tried to get to know him by asking about his past relationships, but he said he didn't want to talk about it. I mean, he doesn't even know you either. And he just wanted to talk about us. Oh my God. I already thought that was a red flag. That's what you thought was a red flag. Fast forward, we got a bit intimate. After that, we continued talking about work stuff. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? If I'm not mistaken, unless this is in hieroglyphics, you just said you met this guy on Snapchat. You then went on to say the same day that you met, presumably on Snapchat, you went on a call on WhatsApp. How does that fast forward into intimacy? Are you trying to tell me that within 24 hours, he added you on Snapchat, you went on a call on WhatsApp, you went on video chat, and you spread your legs wide open for him to see your squirtle within 24 hours? Please tell me, boo, that I'm misunderstanding everything you wrote here, and that's not the case. Because if you did that, you're in a world of trouble. You're in a world of trouble. And we need to talk about how H'd up you are, because that is an issue. I would hope that you're not spreading your legs or taking your pants down to your ankles and showing off your dump truck to a guy you just met on Snapchat the same day. You're way too H'd up for your own good if that's the case. Let's go on. After the call, we exchanged a few texts and he said, I can't argue with your decision. What, after he busted a nut? You're only protecting yourself by keeping the walls up. Why is this conversation sounding as if it's been months, but it's only been hours since you met each other? I understand it's not going to be easy, but if you're willing, what? Sorry, chat. I think this is in hieroglyphics. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. But if you're willing, then I'd be willing as well, with extra more. He also said, if anything, it wouldn't hurt to try. If not to fix it, then at least comfort it. Time will be extra help for healing. Just got to stay fully committed, understanding what's got to give. I told him he has a point, and I thought about what he said, for the next 3 minutes? After that, he didn't respond. So since I saw him like a player, I unfriended him on Snapchat. You know what? This is actually what I would anticipate people who are heavy on Snapchat would do. Not to diss you, boo, but you're not. I honestly would rather you be on Hinge talking to guys than doing this. I unfriended him on Snapchat on a whim. So basically, probably like the same day, probably. Then I realized maybe I should give him a chance, so I added him again. What did we even talk about yesterday? This unblocking and blocking thing and how that makes you look very weak to men. But he didn't accept my request. So now you look like Boo Boo the Fool. So you're not Boo. You're Boo Boo the Fool. I also sent him a message on WhatsApp. Oh, so you want to even look even more dumb. Not just a little bit dumb. No. Just having little dignity is not enough. You want to have no dignity. Saying that if he's really serious, I'd give him a chance, but he didn't reply. Oh my God. This is a train wreck. This is a train wreck of a message. Boo, you have become Boo Boo the Fool. What are you doing? What are you doing? After a few days, I apologized for unfriending him. You kept, oh my God. You kept going. Oh my God. This is so embarrassing. He already didn't accept your request. Then you went ahead and sent him another message on WhatsApp. He ignored your message on WhatsApp. That wasn't even enough for you when your dignity's already down in the dumps. You then go on to apologize for something he didn't even ask for an apology. Oh my God. Oh my God. After a few days, I apologized for unfriending him on Snapchat, and he replied that I couldn't have accidentally unfriended. At least he responded. Thank the Lord. He responded to you. To be honest, I'm not attached. This is you not attached? I'm scared. I'm scared if this is you not attached. I'm concerned. But I'm kind of bothered about it because he never responded. And so I'm just wondering if he was really serious or I just got played. Chat, I honestly think that I missed a part of this. Either this whole thing is in hieroglyphics or I've totally misunderstood part of the message. Please tell me in the chat, did I miss part of the message where she makes it clear to the rest of you guys how, like, this must be happening? I don't know. This timeline doesn't make any sort of logical sense to me in a way that like natural things would escalate, because I'm just confuzzled, confused. I'm dumbfounded. I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't even know what I don't understand. I just don't understand. It's been 2 weeks and we've only exchanged text once after that call. So after you spread your legs for him, right? You got intimate and you showed him your dump truck. It's only been one call. Sorry, it's only been a couple of texts. So after he busted a nut, basically. We haven't talked about it since. I'm thinking of reaching out because I acknowledge I did something wrong, but I also don't want him to see me as desperate. you're worried about this now. Blue, I'm not trying to shame you, but like I have to be very blunt with you and very forward with you so that you can understand why and how bad much of a fool you're looking like. Because if I don't make this harsh, then you're going to feel like you actually went about this the right way and that this is how you should continue going about your relationships. I would be doing you a disservice if I wasn't harsh on you, knowing that you'll probably do this again and you'll end up in the same result. Update, as I've replied to comments below. I did take back the friend request. That doesn't make it better. And I stopped using Snapchat too, thank God. So probably some of the people in the Discord were telling you how horrible this is to do. Okay, thank God. I actually just started using it. Oh, so the addiction monster is back at it again. I actually started using it again recently after a long time, and it looks so much different than when I last used it. LOL, so much like a dating app now. I didn't reach out to him since then. I was just curious if he was really serious or just playing. You met this guy on Snapchat. You don't know him. You don't even know his real name. You don't even know his real name. You don't even know his real name. I did like him. Like what? You don't even know his real name. You don't even know his real name. But my focus is definitely on myself. Thank God. I got other options, so bump him. Thank you. Next. Okay. Thank you to the chat and the Discord to being able to knock some sense into her even before I was able to knock some sense into her. But boo. Yeah, you went about this totally wrong. And like they already told you, cut out Snapchat. You don't need to be on Snapchat. Listen to me. You're 30. Okay. This is not an age shame, but I think at 30 years old, we need to listen to me. I love you. I care about you. At 30, we need to put down the Snapchat. Okay. I'm not age shaming you, but there's a time and place for everything. And when we become adults, Snapchat is one of those things that needs to get put away. Okay. I'm not saying that you can never or should never use the app, but I just mean the heavy use of the app, right, is not going to benefit you. It's just going to be a time waster. Okay. Because at 30 years old, if you're looking for a relationship with a man who's around your age, I can assure you the only men who are around your age that are heavy on Snapchat are not serious. What I mean by not serious is none of those men are looking to build long-term relationships. They're getting on Snapchat and they're using it heavily because they're trying to be sneaky. Okay? I will be the first one to tell you, the men who are approaching 30 who are still heavily using Snapchat are trying to be sneaky for one reason or the other. That's the only reason why guys at that age are still utilizing Snapchat heavily. Okay? So you're not going to meet any guy that you're going to want to build a relationship with on Snapchat regardless. You're definitely not going to meet him on Snapchat. I can assure you of that. Okay? So that should be dead in itself. That's done. Okay? You need to end that. Okay? Now, as it relates to everything else, all of that was a function of the type of guy you're going to meet when you meet a guy on Snapchat. And I don't think you are building anything real. In fact, I feel like you are building something very not real. And you convinced yourself that it was real in the span of literally a couple of days, which is very strange to me. And you're putting a little bit, I think someone like you, Boo, honestly needs a little bit of a social media break because you seem to be putting a lot of onus on like the social media and messaging guys. And when I say putting a lot of onus on it, I mean like it feels very real to you despite it not being very real. And I need you to put it down for a bit. Okay. Put the social media down for a bit, put the messaging down for a bit so that you can step outside of your house and start cultivating real relationships with real people. I know that's easier said than done, but I feel like in the position you're in now, if you get caught in a loop with a guy that you meet on Snapchat, then it'll be even easier for you to get caught in a loop with a guy from Instagram or a guy from Hinge or a guy from Tinder. And you'll just constantly find yourself in these loops with these men, just messaging men vigorously like a messaging monster never actually building real personal relationships with those men. And you're never going to get to the place you want romantically when you're trying to build all your relationships over the internet through message or through video chat with people you don't know. So as painful as it sounds, I need you to put down the messaging and start figuring out ways you can start meeting people in real life, or just doing things that you like, where you'll be able to stumble across people in real life and see what happens from there. At the very least, build up your tolerance and your courage to see people in real life, have chit chat in real life, because this messaging stuff, this Snapchat stuff is never going to end well for you. Okay, so that's my advice to you. Next, we have here, let's see, we have, make sure I go all the way down. No Contact by Mishiru. Okay, this is a pretty terrifying profile picture you got here, but let's go on. So Mishiru says, what if my boyfriend withdrawing to me already? Should I just move on? He started less to no contact for a month now. Your boyfriend has been in no contact with you for a month. I see myself begging for his attention. I want to reclaim my energy. Should I just move on? I kind of have anxiety every time. I hate it, but I can't help. I'm trying to improve for us, but maybe I'm too late since he doesn't contact me anymore. Mishiri, I'm going to say something that's going to be very painful, but you need to hear it. You're not his girlfriend. Okay? You're not. I don't know what has led you to believe that you are his girlfriend, but that is not based in any sort of factual reality, unfortunately. There is no way, shape, form, universe, virtual reality, or real reality in which someone who is dating another person, we are in a serious long-term relationship, and there is no contact for a month. Even if you're saying less to no contact, I'm assuming it's like the absolute bare minimum. Going on for a month. So that definitely means you haven't seen him for a month, right? And if there's little to no contact, even throughout you not see, like, that is not your boyfriend. It's just not. I can understand if he's upset about something and maybe you guys don't talk to each other for a couple of days or something. Like no contact for a month. That man has another thing going. He's either got another relationship, he's focusing on himself, he's doing what he wants to do, but it definitely doesn't consist of doing anything with you. I know it's very painful to hear, and I know you don't want to believe it, but it's the truth. So your question of should I move on? Absolutely. This is over. Okay? It's over. Listen, I always tell you guys, you have to let guys make their own decision and be intentional with you. If his decision with you is to not contact you for a month, you mean nothing to him. You mean absolutely nothing to him. I have to be so real with you. If I'm not real with you, I won't be helping you. You need to move on for your own sanity, because you will drive yourself absolutely insane chasing after him, trying to make yourself be accepted by him. You've already started. Okay? You're trying to improve for us. There is no us. Okay? He probably has a whole nother girlfriend. And you're busy trying to show him how you can be the best wifey ever. Okay? Waste of your time. You need to move on. Move on completely. Block his number, block everything that he owns, throw away every piece of clothing, toothbrush, nail brush, anything that he owns, throw it away in a public trash can where you never have access to it again. Delete his Snapchat memories, delete everything that reminds you of him. Don't even eat his favorite snacks or his favorite foods. Nothing. Delete all the music in your phone that you guys listen to. Nothing. Delete it. Get rid of it all. This relationship is done forever. Okay? Forever. Oh, sorry. You had more here. I didn't read the more because it seemed like that was all. That was all you had. Oops. Sorry. Why did I do that? Let me read the more here. I didn't scroll all the way down. To give you a clear background of us, I met this guy a year ago on a Christian dating site. Wow. I'm 33 and he's 37. So everything I said even more valid because guys at this age are very intentional. And since then, we're doing long distance relationship. We're miles apart. Still irrelevant. It's a month. At first, the relationship was so smooth and clear. We click because we're both the same in the same faith and even do frequent Bible studies. He made me feel that there is a future for us and we'll become a family. He was so consistent before. I even introduced him to my family in one of our video calls. These pen pal situations are very painful to read. Very painful for me because for you guys it just it just does not make sense. And I'm in pain reading this stuff. I won't lie. It actually puts me in pain. He said before that he will go to my country to meet me for summer. But it's already raining season now. This man is actually a PWD. What does PWD mean? But he worked hard and now has a good position in one of our government institutions. Tell me what PWD means, guys. I don't know what that means. Okay. He said he's dating to marry, and I believe him because he seems like a decent guy. The problem started when he received a promotion around 7 to 8 months in a relationship. I've noticed that our conversation has become less, and I keep bugging him about it to the point where I'm having anxiety. He said the job is very demanding, so I understand him, but what should I do? I feel like I've already lost. He's not messaging me for a month now. How can I move on from this? I feel like all my relationships are a failure because I have anxiety issues. Anyways, thank you, Tomisin, for all your video. Helped me a lot. I'm glad I learned from your channel. Tomorrow's, mark my words, tomorrow's show will be about pen pals because this is unbelievable. The situations that you guys find yourselves in. Same thing applies. This relationship's over, Misharu. By no stretch of the imagination is this something that's ongoing. That's serious either. And I feel bad for you because, yeah, I just feel bad. I feel really bad for you. And I know that you thought that this was going well and that this actually was building up to something, but like I say, guys, don't be feeling like you're getting to know someone over the phone because you're not. And if guys aren't willing to meet you in real life, in real person, like in person in 3D, okay, it's not real until you see him for real. Okay, I don't know how else to break that down. Tomorrow I will get more in depth with that show. Okay, because this is rampant, and I actually feel bad for you guys that are in that situation. What's going on? And asks, okay? N says, so to begin with, I apologize. My English, it's not my first language. LOL. Anyways, so me and 3 guys met in an app. Let me read that one more time. So me and 3 guys met in an app. How come that starts off like that? Okay. English not your first language. Maybe you meant to say 1 guy. Maybe. Let's go on to see. Called Yubu way back. Does anyone know the app called Yubu? Okay. In COVID times, don't judge. I'm not judging you. Note that those three guys, oh, so you do mean three. Those three guys are friends in real life and have been for years. We were on that app for hours, and in 2021, me plus two of those guys met. The one who didn't join us was in a relationship, if I remember correctly, and was just part of the group. What type of group is this? This one guy, let's call him Kai, afterwards had feelings for me, which I didn't even realize. Later on, I did though, thanks to Alex. Anyways, I told him I didn't see him like that. How old are you? If you don't say. This type of stuff is I know it's COVID time, but this type of stuff is a huge time waster. Why are you? I'll hold my tongue. Also, adding that I've never been in a relationship, so I haven't been seeing any of these guys anymore like a BF. So why are you just casually chit-chatting with guys who you have no intention of building anything with? This is why I tell you guys to be super intentional about your relationships. It does not make sense to be wasting your time doing this. I am not a player at all. Me plus two guys, every time you say it, it sounds weird. Me plus two guys stopped contacting each other as the other one started flirting with me too. It's getting weirder now. Hold on. That was the not weird part. So me and the guy who was in a relationship, let's call him Alex, he was kind of helping me with the Kai situation as he acted more mature than Kai and seemed to understand my points and thoughts more. Later on, Kai and I blocked each other everywhere and stopped talking. But me and Alex started talking, the guy in a relationship. As I said before, I saw them as a friend from the start. Do you think guys are chatting with you on an app because they want to be your friend? Or because they would like to smash? But then he asked me for coffee. What did I just say? And then we had dinner, etc. So you had dinner and coffee with the guy who's in a relationship. He said he was going to pay them. But me seeing him as a friend, I paid the dinner while he was at the toilet and he paid for the coffee later. Later on, we didn't really text each other other than sending each other funny TikToks, and I didn't think of it that much. He was a really good friend. And I know that you're the single one, but I have a question for you. Just curious. If your man went out for coffee, asked a girl out for coffee and dinner, and was willing to pay for the coffee and dinner, my question to you is, would that make you feel comfortable or uncomfortable? Just a question, okay? Now fast forward, he moved to the city he always wanted to, and he told me the designers and the designs and what kind of stuff he wants to buy to his apartment, etc. Once it was kind of ready, he asked me for coffee again. The bill situation is the same, but this time he didn't let me pay. As it was winter and cold, we were in Scandinavia. We were headed to his apartment as all the places closed at 9 p.m. It was my first time in a guy's apartment. I'm 21. I thought so. So I didn't really have anything in mind. As it was always late, I just had to charge my phone and leave. As my phone was charging, we were chilling and talking. He showed me the furniture he's been looking for, etc. Anyways, longest story short, he made a move. Shocker. I didn't even see this coming. This took me by complete surprise. I would have never anticipated this. And we started kissing and later on making out. I'm shocked. This was November. Oops, pressed enter, sorry. It was my first kiss and he told me, wow, you might even be better than me. Maybe even better than his girlfriend. LMAO, he knew I had no experience. Funny. After leaving, he didn't send me any message, which is still weirds me out. That's the part that weirds you out. But a couple of days later, he replied to my story. He probably had to reply to his girlfriend first. A week ago, we started to talk about all that stuff. So my question now is there any reason that as guys you would want to revenge and use me? I don't know. What do you mean? What's the revenge? She's still in the relationship. I just know they're both still in contact and I'm really embarrassed about the kissing part. That's the part. Even though he said, I just want to know I didn't kiss you for nothing. He actually said that. Then why would you even mention that? LOL, reverse psychology. What should I do? What kind of things should I especially take notes for in the future? So sorry for the complicated explanation. Thank you so much already. And, this is, I don't want to make you feel like a horrible person because you're only 21. We all make mistakes when we're young. We all have things to learn and grow from, including myself. I am not a perfect human being either. I still am not, okay? However, what you did here was extremely stupid. Extremely. If you've watched the show for any period of time, and as you grow as a human being, you'll gain the understanding that guys don't do things for no reason, okay? They might be emotionally stunted, but they are not idiots. If they are spending any sort of time and energy on you consistently, it's not because they want to hold hands and sing Kumbaya and be your best friend. There are guys that will approach you under the umbrella that I just want to be your friend. Our friendship is so important to me that this is why I'm investing my time and energy into you. Do not ever allow men to convince you of that malarkey. It's total BS. And even the guys that will die on the sword of trying to convince you that it's real and try to convince you that they're there to build a relationship with you, to build a friendship with you, they're lying to you. What they're there for is the hope that one day all of their hard work and effort will culminate itself into them extracting Squirtle from you. You should know what Squirtle is by now. It's in between your legs. Okay? And whether they want to admit it or not, whether they want to lie to themselves about it or not, they are there to extract Squirtle from you, not to be your best friend. So I say all that to say, from the moment he started talking to you as a friend, this should have already clued you in that he was there for something more. And especially when he asked you out for coffee and dinner. Like I asked you earlier, if your boyfriend were to just simply ask a girl out for coffee and dinner and be willing to pay for it, would that make you comfortable or uncomfortable? And if it would make you uncomfortable, tell me why. That will answer your question as to what his intentions were all along. It's easier to feel like a guy just genuinely wants to be your friend when it's you, because you're the girl and it's happening to you. So that's what you want to believe to justify it in your mind. Obviously, that's not why he was there. My point being, this was a complete waste of your time. You're literally trying to build a relationship with a guy who literally has a girlfriend. You will never be the priority to him. His priority will always be his girlfriend. Do not waste your time and energy trying to figure out how you can get noticed or seen or build this relationship further or deeper, or this connection with a man who has a girlfriend. It's a waste of your time. Because you'll only end up being frustrated by the fact that after he finishes using you, especially when he finishes sleeping with you, he'll go right back to his girlfriend and pay all his time and attention onto her because you mean nothing to him. I know that's a painful reality, but I need to whip you into shape so that you can stop wasting your life away on a guy who is not invested in you whatsoever. Because he might sell you on the idea that he's going to build this magical relationship with you and you guys are going to run off to a land far, far away. But in reality, he's not leaving his girlfriend. Because if he really wanted to leave his girlfriend, he'd just leave his girlfriend. It's the same thing with these guys who are married. They tell you about how their relationship's not working out and how they're about to get divorced, and they never get divorced. They just keep sleeping with you while they tell you that they're about to get divorced. That way, they can sleep with you and not get divorced. It's the same idea. Okay, so don't waste your time. Delete him off of everything. Block him off everything so you're not tempted to check his page and so you're not tempted to respond when he contacts you. Don't reach out to his girlfriend. Don't reach out to no one. Don't reach out to anyone that you met on that app. In fact, delete that app and never create a profile on that app again. Stop with the messaging, guys. Stop it. Stop with the serial messaging 24/7, trying to build relationships with people on. Stop it. Stop it. Have you guys noticed that 90% of these messages start with, we met on Hinge, we met on Bumble, we met on Snapchat, we met on this app or that app, and started messaging? Okay? Stop. Stop it. We're going to talk about pen pals tomorrow. Stop it. Stop it. It never works out for any of you. Okay? And please, I know you're young. This was a mistake. Get rid of this guy and get off that app. Get off that app. Okay? And when you build relationships with guys, build them out of intention, not just because you're bored and want someone to talk to. Okay? That way, when a guy comes to you and he asks you out for coffee, it's because he's made it clear that he's trying to court you and build a relationship with you, not because he wants to be casual friends and then he makes a move on you and then he sleeps with you and then you realize he has a girlfriend and he's not leaving his girlfriend. Waste of your time. Okay, Ann. All right, guys. That was the show for today. I hope that you guys got some value out of that. I know it was intense. I was very serious today. But I'm serious for a reason when it needs to be serious. Okay. And, if I didn't answer your question, don't fret. I will definitely answer your question, in the coming shows. I answer questions every day on the Discord, so don't you worry. If you are on TikTok and you want to follow me on Instagram because you want to see everything that I'm doing 24/7 all the time and you just love me so much, you can follow me on Instagram. It's right on top of my head on the left side of the screen. It's right on the bottom right if you're on YouTube as well. So you can follow me on Instagram there. If you're on TikTok and you want to rewatch the show in its entirety because you missed parts of it, you can just head over to my YouTube channel, which is my name. It's right above my head on the top right of the screen. And you can screenshot this and type my name in, or you can just type my name in and you'll be able to find it there. My YouTube page, where you'll find this show and all the other live shows in the live section, where you'll have the YouTube chat and the TikTok live chat embedded in the video. So you'll be able to see all the conversation that's happening while I'm discussing with all of you beautiful people. Okay, does that make sense? I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you have to figure out what time that is in your time zone in order to catch me live right on time. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, so I'll be back here tomorrow at 4 p.m. Tomorrow's show will be about pen pals. We're going to discuss pen pals. So buckle yourself up. Everyone get strapped in because tomorrow is pen pals day. All right. So prepare yourself for that. We're going to have a long discussion about pen pals. Until then, I will see you tomorrow. Have a safe and a great rest of your night or evening or morning for some of you on the other side of the world. I love you so much. Until then, arrivederci, hasta la vista, goodbye, au revoir. I will see you later. I love you so much and enjoy your life until we meet again. Okay, it won't be